Monopoly. What we all hate in real life, but love on a board, apparently. This is the classic game of Monopoly where you are trying to take over the world that's kind of in a smaller form. So this is what you have, is your Monopoly board. Pull that out. So you have your Monopoly board that has different colored properties, some railroads, different things around. And so you are trekking your way along the board, and if you land on a property that is unowned, you get to purchase that property. And so once you complete, you own all of the properties of one color. There's only 2 here and 2 here, but all the rest are 3. So if you own both of these 2 purple ones, you now have a monopoly, and you can put houses on those and hotels on those and charge more if someone lands on that space. So it's definitely a collecting game of trying to accumulate wealth, but you don't want to necessarily pay too much, because if you land on someone else's spot, you have to pay them. So it is a strategic game. You can wheel and deal all day. Hey, I'll give you this and this for that, or hey, I won't charge you next time you land on one of my things if you give me that, or very much a wheeling and dealing game. A little bit of luck with the dice and that kind of thing, but really it's a very, very strategic game. Other than that, you have your property, I don't know what these are called, property cards, and you have your money, dice in which you roll to see where you go, and a few more cards here. You have your community chest and your chance. So your chance cards, they're random things. Advance token to the nearest railroad and pay owner twice the rental in which he or she is otherwise entitled. If railroad is unowned, you may buy it from the bank. So both of these, they can be good or bad depending on what you're wanting. Advance to St. Charles Place. If you pass go, collect $200. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So that is, it's an interesting, fun game. You have won second prize in a beauty contest. Collect $10. Like random stuff that you can get out of those cards. So it's a fun game, enjoyable game. If you don't like strategy, don't buy this game. Don't play this game. It is not for people that don't like strategy. It is a game that will break your heart for sure. That is definitely one of the worst games for most of the time. This is what happens. You're playing and people quit. That is what happens most of the time. However, this is what happens sometimes. You're playing with people that like strategy, enjoy it, and it's just this slow death for the last person, because you go bankrupt and you're done. You're out. So you're playing with 4 people, let's say. 2 of them are out. There's 2 left. There's 1 person. They're just accumulating wealth more and more. 1 person, they're just slowly declining, and that's just the game just kind of sputters out. That's what happens most of the time. You're like, hey, I won. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not the best game for that, but this is a classic game, and as you're going throughout the early stages and middle stages, it can ebb and flow a bunch. So I don't want to say this isn't a fun game. It is a super, super fun game, but don't be afraid to say, I surrender. I'm going to go ahead and quit right now, because you kind of know what's going to happen throughout. So that's what I will say about Monopoly. It's a fun game. It's an enjoyable game. I personally love this game, but my wife who doesn't enjoy heavy strategy, hates Monopoly. So I just want to make that clear, to know your personality and what you may or may not enjoy. Hopefully that's helpful in giving you a taste of Monopoly, what it is, what it isn't, and whether it's right or not for you. So thanks a lot.